As technology advanced over the previous century, Earth's reliance on space goods became increasingly important, and interstellar resources like rare minerals and medications are traded as the foundation of the world economy. And vital technologies moved from far-off worlds to Earth, maintaining industries through a precarious supply chain. Food supplies were plentiful and houses were powered, but there was a lot of dependence. There were serious dangers and invisible dangers in the immensity of space and humanity. Quickly discovered that interstellar commerce lines were susceptible, and the appearance of extraterrestrial pirates signaled the start of a These weren't your typical raiders. They used sophisticated Earth's cargo ships are built with technology and careful planning to optimize efficiency, and storage were inadequate for swiftly fending off pirate invasions. Intensified, instead of merely removing cargo, they left devastation behind, destroying engines and rendering entire fleets for Earth, which had disastrous results. Industries stopped producing because when medical supplies and raw materials ran out, panic broke out as the government rushed to find answers, but the pirates showed no indications of giving up. The merchant fleet, which was composed of several hundred ships, followed rules and avoided conflict, but experienced captains and crews took the brunt of these attacks, and a hitter reduced the number of fatalities. But the appliance did not provide safety. Ships would turn over their goods, but pirates frequently abandoned them to float aimlessly. This endangered not just goods but also life, because there were no trustworthy defenses, which led to a depressing attitude among many in the fleet started to completely stop engaging in interstellar trade out of concern for their safety. In the midst of this mayhem, an accomplished merchant captain with decades of experience traversing space, Captain Ethan Blake is renowned for his Blake's methodical preparation and composed manner had earned him a reputation for effectiveness and dependability. But like many others, he had succumbed to the escalating danger on board. A pirate ambush nearly destroyed his ship during one of his routine supply deliveries. Blake was scared but determined after the encounter, realizing that ignoring the issue would no longer be enough. After analyzing the attack, Blake's original impulse to fight back was motivated by survival rather than valor. The pirates' strategies by examining their trends and the technology they used, which he found was crucial to their attacks. Taking advantage of the slow and unarmed cargo ships' weaknesses, he moreover observed that they preferred to attack in remote areas far from assistance. This information sowed the seeds of grief that Blake came to the conclusion that the commercial fleet had to change or face total destruction. He started organizing other captains to coordinate defenses and exchange intelligence after annihilation. Many captains were dubious, viewing resistance as futile against adversaries with superior technology, so it wasn't easy. However, Blake's determination was infectious. He reminded them that their greatest chance was to stand together, and gradually a network of the fleet leaders' communication began, when they began to report pirate sightings, alerting others too. Despite its limitations, this approach offered some optimism despite possible risks. Blake's initial efforts were insufficient. The fleet needed concrete information, fortifications, but it wasn't easy to equip merchant ships. The majority of them were retrofitting them with guns and shields as necessary because they were made to carry things without withstanding warfare. Substantial resources and technical know-how, Blake started contacting earthly engineers and technicians. Given the gravity of their predicament, he argued for funding for fundamental defensive improvements, such energy. His efforts to prevent pirate attacks with shields and small-scale weapons attracted notice, and soon several people seemed to actually want to become a ship. As the fleet changed, businesses offered to help Blake's project. Blake also concentrated on crew training. Blake set an example for the others to follow, as they had to master basic battle tactics and emergency maneuvers after becoming used to handling cargo. Putting together drills and simulations helped them get ready for the impending conflicts. They were now a fleet prepared to defend itself, not just passive targets. Blake's leadership went beyond the technological facets. He emerged as a figurehead for the merchant fleet. Fostering unity and trust, captains who had previously worked alone started cooperating and sharing routes, arranged convoys, and even mobilized resources to help ships that were damaged. As the pirates persisted in their attacks, the fleet's resistance was reinforced by a spirit of cooperation. Organized opposition, the issue was still not entirely settled, but the tide was starting to change. Blake's actions showed that despite the overwhelming odds, willpower and cooperation might have an impact. The merchant fleet fought to defend us, not only to transport goods. Every minor triumph strengthened their determination and demonstrated that the pirates were not unbeatable, according to Captain Blake Swans. Even though his journey was just getting started, his choice to fight back was crucial to the conflict with the alien. Attacks by extraterrestrial pirates have grown more violent, focusing on weaker areas of the galaxy where patrols were irregular and cargo ships carrying necessities were attacked. These attacks, which frequently came as little warning, were quick and well-planned. Utilizing the superior technology of the pirates allowed them to overrun the Earth's merchant fleet, and each raid demonstrated how unprepared the fleet was. Ships built exclusively for transportation proved to be no match for the pirates' strategies, which was the first step toward understanding the pirates' strategies was necessary to counter these dangers because they did not operate arbitrarily. They frequently preyed on ships sailing alone in isolated locations, far from well-traveled trade routes, following a recognizable pattern. Their technology made it feasible for them to swiftly cripple ships, making escape impossible. This tactic guaranteed limited identification of these patterns, was essential to developing a defense. But it required Captain Ethan Blake deciding to take the lead in this endeavor, since he had the knowledge and wisdom to put it all together. Using his years of experience negotiating these trade routes, unpredictable trade routes, and moving in convoys by working with one. While these steps didn't completely remove the threat they posed, additional merchant ships could lessen the pirates' advantage. Crucial time to create a stronger defense plan, and the next task was to bring together the dispersed citizens. Many captains in the demoralized merchant fleet had given up on the prospect of after years of rampant piracy. They felt powerless to stop it, and their Blake thought that the main objective had shifted from resistance to survival. He urged captains throughout the fleet to unite, persuading them that unity was their only chance. They weren't simple, and many people weren't prepared to take the chance of more losses, but Blake's resolve was unwavering. He reminded them of their duty by appealing to their common goal. As the fleet started to unite, attention turned to safeguarding the essential cargo that kept Earth afloat. Defensive tactics and countermeasures were essential, but so was the capacity to retaliate when called upon. Blake suggested a daring scheme to lure the pirates into a trap, which would need, which careful planning and execution, a small ship convoy would act as the lure moving through a dangerous region while covertly installing enhanced defenses after the pirates assaulted the field. The pirates, with the admirals of the Navy, despite the risks of standing down units of men, executed a massive counterattack. Despite the risks, concerted action demonstrated that the pirates were not ready for modern warfare. Lingering death and destruction because of the pirates were not uniformly acknowledged in the initiative, and responding to the pirates were not proven. A successful counterattack by Invincible raised spirits throughout the fleet by demonstrating that resistance was feasible in addition to ennoblement. In response to strategies, the fleet started concentrating on equipping cargo ships with, as Earth's military resources were overextended, engineers prioritized defensive capabilities, and technicians worked together with merchant captains to create affordable basic energy solutions. Several ships were equipped with shields and short-range weapons. However, these improvements were quite limited. Enhanced the fleet's resistance to attacks, training also emerged as a crucial element of the fleet's strategy. Previously concentrating just on cargo handling, crews now needed to learn to get students ready for the real world. To get students ready for the real world, defensive maneuvers and emergency procedures were practiced. Scenarios. The objective was to guarantee that each crew member was aware of their responsibilities in the case of an attack of this magnitude. Blake's leadership was crucial in reducing disruption and enhancing the fleet's overall resilience via preparation. In addition to organizing these activities, he instilled trust in the fleet during this process. He gained the respect of his peers for his ability to remain composed under pressure and his willingness to take measured risks. Peer captains who had previously worked alone started to trust his leadership, and the fleet strengthened as a result. In spite of these developments, the pirates also adjusted, starting this or that direction. Blake understood that the fleet had to continuously adjust its tactics in order to target larger cargoes. Brute force alone wouldn't win the battle. The fleet needed to be always on guard against the pirates. Maneuvers and taking advantage of their vulnerabilities, which called for a mix of the fleet's increasing success, can also be attributed to its inventiveness and unwavering resolve. Garnered interest from the government of Earth and other interstellar traders, and assistance began to flow in. Although limited, this support highlighted the importance of allocating more resources for ship modifications and information gathering. Significance of the merchant fleet's actions as they went beyond self-defense to preserving Earth's economic lifeline by means of meticulous preparation and cooperation with the merchant fleet. The pirates were previously thought to be unstoppable, but the balance of power eventually changed. The threat was still the fleet, but the force was now based on coordinated resistance. The merchant fleet's newfound solidarity and fortitude signaled the start of a protracted and difficult struggle for survival. The awareness that conventional ways of operating were no longer feasible, cargo marked the beginning of transition. Ships were not designed to survive battle or navigate hostile environments, but rather to deliver goods. Areas where the increasing threat of alien pirates necessitated urgent fleet upgrades. Collaboration between the fleet and engineers on the ground became crucial as the emphasis switched toward incorporating energy shields and defensive technology into ships, without sacrificing their ability to carry cargo. Originally intended for military ships, these were altered for commerce ships. Shields gave crews a fighting chance during attacks by protecting them from the pirates' most common weaponry. While it was impossible to match the pirates' specialized firepower, guns were another essential component. Shipboard cargo vessels were equipped with small-scale weapons systems, permitted ships to defend themselves until reinforcements arrived, even if only momentarily. When the fleet came, it steered clear of heavy weapons to preserve its agility and make sure ships might continue to operate as traders. The objective was to provide sufficient deterrence to prevent the fleet from becoming a military force. Make pirate attacks more challenging, training became just as crucial as crew members' technological advancements. Pre-employed logistics management and freight equipment operation were now expected to acquire defense training programs for combat tactics, and protocols were created to instruct crews. How to handle emergency situations, operate new weapon systems, and carry out evasive maneuvers were not consistent because the crews of each ship had varying degrees of expertise and capabilities. But the common goal was to make sure that each crew could react appropriately in the case of an attack. The fleet adopted the idea of coordinated defense as well. Ships were no longer autonomous entities with independent captains. Started moving in convoys, using numbers and power to stave off attacks. Convoys were meticulously organized, using the most effective routes and the known pirate activity regions in mind. Ships may now share intelligence and coordinate responses thanks to the establishment of real-time communication networks. The success rate of pirate raids outside of Earth was greatly decreased by this cooperative strategy. Acknowledged the common threat posed by extraterrestrial pirates to other interstellar trading partners, Captain Ethan Blake started talking to these partners about forming an alliance with other planetary systems, but at first reluctantly started to recognize the benefits of a single response trade route that was connected by sharing and pooling resources. Pirates disrupted numerous civilizations around the galaxy. intelligence, the Alliance Coalition was able to better comprehend the pirates' activities. This partnership also gave the commercial fleet access to cutting-edge technologies that Earth couldn't deliver on its own. One of the major outcomes of these collaborations was the use of stealth technologies. Earth ships started adding characteristics that made them less visible to pirates thanks to innovations from Allied systems. Scanners, which improved the fleet's capacity to avoid detection and made it more difficult for pirates to find targets. Although stealth technology created another line of defense and forced pirates to spread, it did not make ships invincible. Effort in their raids. The fleet's pivotal moment occurred during a major battle in a vital commerce corridor. In addition to the commerce fleet, Allied ships from other systems were participating in this conflict. The fleet was able to resist and repel a major pirate attack because to preparation and the application of new technologies. Victory raised spirits and proved that the fleet's change was successful. It also sent a strong message. The commercial fleet was no longer a simple target for the pirates. While the Navy started gathering information on the pirates, while the immediate focus remained on defensive tactics, partnerships with other systems enabled the discovery of trends in the pirates' operations. Showing that they were more coordinated than previously believed, this information showed that the pirates weren't merely haphazard raiders, but a centralized command structure inside a wider network, and being aware of this structure became a top priority, since it presented the chance to interfere with their operations and the fleet's flight. The pirates' increasing success compelled them to change as well. Their attacks grew more calculated, focusing on bigger convoys, and in response, the merchant fleet continued to develop adaptable formations and more sophisticated strategies. Because convoy routes were always changing, pirates found it more difficult to plan their attacks. Furthermore, started experimenting with deception tactics, such as deploying shifts with minimal equipment to divert pirate attention from the public's attitude of the fleet changed significantly during this time. From being viewed as defenseless victims to the commercial fleet was now seen as a representation of the Earth's ability to adapt and persevere. More money was made available by the public and private sectors for ship improvements and research into more support for advanced technologies. Also resulted in the establishment of specialized divisions inside programs to ensure long-term success. Despite these, the fleet's mission involved counter-piracy and reconnaissance activities. Improvements, the fleet's resources were limited and sustaining. While it was advantageous, improved ships required ongoing investment cooperation between Earth and Allied systems. Not without issues, logistical and cultural differences occasionally made things more difficult, joint activities. But the alliance was maintained by their common objective of preventing piracy. Intact. The evolution of the merchant fleet signaled a dramatic change in the interplanetary trading environment. No longer are the fleet, which previously served as passive movers of products, now actively participates in maintaining the security of trade routes. Not only safeguarded Earth's interests, but also improved relations with other societies. Yet the trip was far from over. But the advancements gained during this time frame set the stage for further triumphs. And the fleet had changed, transformed into a powerful force that could protect against the commercial fleet's most enduring threats. As the need to comprehend the real reasons behind the alien pirate attacks increased, it became evident that the pirates were no longer only opportunistic raiders preying on solitary vessels. Their behavior revealed indications of a bigger coordinated effort. The regularity, accuracy, and magnitude of their assaults suggested a well-functioning network. Having particular goals, this insight signaled the start of an investigation to find the proximates. The first clues that came from the intelligence that the Allied systems communicated about their activities' veracity were similar patterns of piracy were observed in other civilizations outside Earth's fleet, which the pirates targeted. Particular cargo categories with an emphasis on valuable resources and essential supplies. This selective strategy implied that their objectives went beyond maximizing profits, and an examination of these trends indicated an intentional plan to undermine interstellar civilizations and disrupt important trade routes. More research demonstrated that the pirates used far more sophisticated technology than independent raiders could normally. Their ships were outfitted with advanced cloaking mechanisms and weapons that indicated access to significant resources, which prompted inquiries over their financing and support networks, and the potential for a covert sponsor or a bigger group supporting the pirates started to take shape, and it became clear who or what. As intelligence networks grew, the fleet and its allies prioritized the reasons behind their missions. Important insights were supplied by informants and apprehended pirates who disclosed tidbits of knowledge regarding a centralized command structure that was in charge of the raids, and at its core was a person who was only as the overlord, although information about them was limited. Reports characterized them as a very smart and brutal boss who can organize intricate tasks over several stars. Thus, this individual became the focus of the fleet's investigation because it would be crucial to undermine their influence. Efforts to obtain additional information resulted in clandestine operations in areas such as harbor in order to eliminate the pirate danger. Undercover spies have to infiltrate pirate outposts and supply lines in these high-risk missions. Thus, the objective was to identify key nodes and map out the network's infrastructure. These missions discovered secret bases dispersed over unexplored areas of space. These bases functioned as centers for planning raids, keeping track of stolen goods, and repairing ships. Locations were deliberately selected to evade detection. They were frequently found in deep space anomalies or asteroid fields. The most important discoveries were made via communications between pirate ships that were intercepted and deciphered by informants. In addition to practical details, sophisticated encryption systems also provided clues about their long-term goals. In an attempt to challenge Earth and its allies' hegemony in interplanetary trade, pirates seemed to be targeting them. That this aim supported fears that the overlords wanted to upset the galaxy's power structure, possibly to create a new political or economic structure. As the inquiry continues, as the situation worsened and it became clear that the pirates' activities were entangled with further illegal actions, such as sabotage, espionage, and smuggling, relationships with dishonest authorities and groups within allied systems, making attempts to neutralize the threat, the network's power and reach, were far larger than first thought, necessitating a considered cooperation. The fleet's leadership realized that comprehending the pirates required a concerted response on several fronts. Strategies and motivations were only a portion of the answer. They also required to interfere with network operations and reduce its ability to survive by focusing on its supply chains, which became a crucial goal by denying access to vital resources like fuel, weaponry, and parts. The pirates' fleet For these initiatives to be successful, careful preparation and execution were necessary. Since the pirates' supply routes were closely guarded and frequently concealed, another crucial component of their plan was hindering the pirates' recruitment attempts, because a large portion of their ranks were made up of destitute people from addressing the underlying socioeconomic problems that exist on poor worlds or in conflict-ravaged areas. Caused these people to engage in piracy, became the target of allied government programs to offer financial assistance and provide opportunities in these areas, with the goal of lowering the number of possible recruits, which would impair the pirates' ability to finding the overlord's main base, allowed them to resupply their forces, which was a turning point in the base of the investigation, which was deep within a dense nebula, was well defended and practically impregnable. According to intelligence, this building housed the central command for the whole pirate network. Vital human resources and technology that neutralized this base turned into the fleet's primary objective, since it served as the focal point of the pirates' operations when they planned the attack on the pirates, which needed unprecedented cooperation. When the Allied forces combined their resources and knowledge to create a comprehensive plan, the operation would entail a multifaceted strategy to reduce casualties that combines direct military action with deterrent measures. To find gaps in the base's defenses, advanced reconnaissance was carried out while specialized teams. As the fleet readied itself for the assault operations, they were ready to sneak in and take out key systems from within, impede the pirates' activities, and carry out strategic attacks on tiny locations. The supply convoys make it harder for them to react to the approaching onslaught. These measures also caused the pirates to veer away, attracting attention, giving the fleet a chance to attack the main base. The fight took on a new level when the identity of the overlord was revealed. It was discovered that they were a previous high-ranking official from a now-defunct civilization, attempting to regain their position of authority through piracy and manipulation. This person's understanding of intergalactic trade networks and military strategies made them a powerful enemy. But they had more than just financial interests at heart. They wanted retribution. This personal vendetta drove their opposition to the structures they held responsible for the collapse of their civilization. Relentless assault on Earth and its allies, as well as the fleet's attempts to learn the truth about the pirate network, emphasized the intricacy of the danger they faced, pointing out that the pirates were more than just a group of criminals, but a safety. This threat is being addressed by a highly coordinated, resourceful, and influential organization. Needed strategic thinking, teamwork, and in-depth knowledge in addition to military prowess. Of the fundamental causes of the conflict by dissecting the fleet's motivations and the network's actions established the framework for a pivotal conflict that would decide the fate of intergalactic commerce. There was a degree of collaboration and strategy required to prepare for the last battle against the alien pirates, unmatched in interstellar trade defense history. With the Overlord's base located and its every aspect of the mission's significance was established, the merchant's fleet and its allies started combining their resources for a forceful assault. IR needed to prepare carefully in order to maximize chances of success and minimize deaths. But it was more than just beating the pirates. It was about ensuring interstellar trade would continue and re-establishing prosperity. The first stage of the operation was the mobilization of forces to bring stability to the impacted areas. Final technological and weaponry enhancements were made to the fleet, which was supported by ships from allied civilizations. Engineers put in endless effort to outfit the ships with equipment that can withstand the pirates' sophisticated defenses. The fleet ships were equipped with weapons-enhanced shielding and jammer technologies to provide them with an advantage in the conflict. The cooperation between fleet commanders and engineers made sure that every resource was efficiently employed in conjunction with technical developments. The fleet centered on planning using intelligence. The Overlord space is situated in a dense desert gem system filled with barriers that make visibility and navigation extremely difficult. Stealth drones were utilized by reconnaissance teams to map the region, locate access sites, detect defensive buildings, and this thorough reconnaissance identified possible weak points in the pirates' defenses, enabling the fleet to develop a multifaceted attack plan that makes sure every stage of the operation is well considered. The strategy for the strike was to launch a coordinated attack that would target the base from several directions while smaller specialist squads were assigned to infiltrate the base while the main force engaged the pirates' outer fortifications, damage vital systems in order to impede the pirates' internal operations, and keep pressure on first lasers. They also used decoys and diversionary tactics with their external defenses. By diverting focus from the main strike force, this strategy sought to disperse the pirates' reaction, making it more difficult for them to launch a successful defense. And the fleet's capacity to function as a unified entity was crucial in the operational communication networks were refined to provide smooth ship-to-ship cooperation, regardless of advanced artificial intelligence. Tools were used to help commanders make decisions in real time, regardless of their position in the conflict. Analyzing the quickly evolving battlefield dynamics, this technological and human skill combination produced a level of effectiveness that was essential for a mission this size. And as the operation progressed, the fleet encountered opposition that, despite being taken by surprise, the pirates showed a fierce determination and flexibility in a test. Their advanced weapons and understanding of the nebula's geography, coupled with their resolve to protect their citadel, gave them an early advantage. But the fleet's better preparation and advanced technology ultimately changed the tide in favor of the defense. Structures were destroyed, creating routes for the infiltration teams to continue pursuing their goals within the mountain. The difficulties the infiltration teams faced highlighted the pirates' degree of readiness and security measures. The situation was hazardous due to automated defenses and heavily armed personnel, yet the team's training, they were able to overcome these challenges thanks to equipment, and their main goal was to disable the base's central command. Systems that prevent the pirates from coordinating and communicating with one another, Endeavor severely hampered the Overlord's capacity to control the conflict, making the pirates susceptible to the effectiveness of the fleet assault. The effectiveness of the fleet assault depended on the fleets and its allies. Capacity to sustain pressure on the pirates during the infiltration squad's mission completion, which necessitated constant concentration. Given a readiness to adjust to unforeseen circumstances, the fleet showed an exceptional ability to bounce back. Modifying their strategy in reaction to the pirates' counterattacks, their capacity to stay demonstrated the leadership and preparation that had gone into the mission by remaining together under duress. As the operation came to a close with the Overlord's capture, this accomplishment signified more than just accomplishment. The fleet's resolve to defend Interstellar was demonstrated by this symbolic tactical victory. When the Overlord was removed from power, the pirate network's core command structure was essentially destroyed. The fleet's actions left its remnants vulnerable and unorganized, sending a strong warning to any pirates that might be left. After the battle, as the operation came to a close with the Overlord's capture, this accomplishment signified more than just accomplishment. The fleet's resolve to defend Interstellar was demonstrated by this symbolic tactical victory. When the Overlord was removed from power, the pirate network's core command structure was essentially destroyed. The fleet's actions left its remnants vulnerable and unorganized, sending a strong warning to any pirates that might be left. After the battle, the period of unrestrained raids came to an end, and efforts were directed toward consolidation and hunting. After the pirate base was destroyed, there was a chance to secure the area and resume safe trade. Allied forces collaborated to patrol the impacted areas, making sure that when stability was restored, the pirate network's remains were unable to reorganize, allowing commerce to resume with significant losses. The job of the fleet in this operation is to provide much-needed relief to economies that had been suffocated by the pirates. Beyond defense, they assumed responsibilities for restoring confidence among interstellar trading partners. Better communication networks strengthened security measures, aided the endeavor to favor enlightenment. With each enrichment of philosophy and studies and sciences, they echoed the global revelations and technological advancements aimed at averting future dangers and safety of trade routes. This mode directly represents the enterprise. And ongoing intercultural cooperation became laying the groundwork for a more robust interstellar trade system. The operation's effects extended beyond its immediate results. It acted as a reminder of the value of cooperation and flexibility in the face of difficult obstacles. The fleet's transformation from a susceptible target to a well-coordinated defensive force demonstrated the strength of. By working together, this change not only preserved intergalactic trade, but also served as an inspiration for faith in humanity's capacity to negotiate the unknowns of a galaxy that is changing quickly. Even if the threat of pirates had been eliminated, the fleet could still benefit from the lessons learned from the war, stayed ahead of the curve by continuing to innovate and investing in research and development. Opponents, They also kept their alliances because they understood that cooperation was necessary to meet the common ends. These initiatives demonstrated a dedication to long-term stability and prosperity, despite the difficulties of interstellar trade. The success of the operation demonstrated that the sacrifices made during the fight would not be in vain. It proved the fleet's tenacity, resourcefulness, and fortitude, that even in the face of enormous odds, they could be overcome with diligent preparation, strong leadership, and teamwork. Difficult obstacles, the merchant fleet's transformation from vulnerability to triumph constituted a pivotal moment in the interstellar commerce history, established a model for how societies should band together to safeguard their common destiny.